evening and welcome to Universal Spiritualism. It's Sunday evening at 9 o'clock, so we have Niko and his guides and inspirers now who are joining us here for an evening of trance demonstration. So a few hellos and then we'll bring Niko on, who has already gone into trance. So it will be Noah, his guides and inspirers, that will be speaking through him. First of all, hello, Michelle. Hi, Christine. Hi, Mandy, Keely, Dana, Rebecca, Julie, Michaela, Christine, Louie. Nice. So without further ado, hello to Noah. Good evening.
Greetings to you, my dear one. Our humble gratitude, my dear, for once more providing us the honor to be heard. And greetings to all who have joined and who are listening. It truly is an honor and a privilege to bring forth guidance, words of comfort, encouragement, and to assist each of you to remember to trust. Notice, my dear ones, for many of you, merely listening, even offering your questions, is enough. And yet, even through that, my dear ones, I ask you, do you trust? Do you trust your own essences? Do you trust the strength and bravery of your essence to assist you to remember? Or is merely listening serving as entertainment? Where one is indulged, and a few words may penetrate, may resonate, may even affect the journey of the physical realm. And yet, once this transmission ends, one resumes to their daily activities, forgetting until the following moment they join. And yet I ask each of you, within that duration, from one transmission to the next, do you notice the difficulties you still experience in your realm? The struggles, the turmoil, the perceived pain. Or it amounts to more worries, more difficulties, and more confusion. But one targets the following session to listen once more. And this becomes a pattern, my dear ones. It is not necessary. If each of you merely trust, seek, in order to remember your essence, we shall alleviate the discomfort, worries, the confusion you experience daily. It is not that difficult when viewed from the lens of your essence. But indeed, it may perceive difficult, unimaginable, unattainable, when viewed through the lens of your physical form. Understand, my dear ones, the lens of your physical form is merely a temporary lens. It sees with limitation. It sees through an illusion. And yet the lens of your essence, my dear ones, is eternal. It sees truth. It sees love. It seeks understanding. So I encourage each of you to not continue this pattern. Do not value this transmission as otherworldly, as profound. Merely view it as a gentle, loving reminder to trust your essence. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. And for those of you who are viewing, hi Rhonda, welcome Kim and Michelle, and just see, it's all tracked up and down here, and Kate and Sarah. Come not join us since I said hello. Your pattern is to open up for questions about the spirit world and all things spiritual first, and then we'll move on to messages if we can get through the questions, because last week we spent a lot of time on the questions, but then Niko does do a Tuesday evening just purely of evidential mediumship with this trance. So if we can start with Michelle. He says, I think that angels are trying to warn me of unfortunate events. A lot of my dreams are of unfortunate events.
My dear one, your device does not seem to be working properly. May we ask you to repeat the question, my dear?
Yes, I'll take my video off because sometimes that helps the sound as well. Okay, so Michelle asks, I think that the angels are trying to warn me of unfortunate events, as a lot of my dreams are of unfortunate events.
My dear one, allow me to first offer you insight, my dear. Your perception is that these events are unfortunate. This perception is rooted within the fear taught in your realm, my dear. Also the illusion that one requires protection. Understand, my dear one, each event which occurs, which has occurred, and which shall occur, is intentional, my dear one. There is no unfortunate events. This is the human mind's perception, my dear. Recognize, my dear one, that as you view your physical journey within your timeline as your doing, we perceive that you are the one who makes the decisions, who takes the blame, if you will, the accolades. It is not you, my dear. It is your essence. For your journey, my dear, has already been determined, drafted, planned prior to your incarnation. Merely trust what is to unfold, my dear, and value what has unfolded with honor and respect, rather than resentment, shame, and guilt. The celestial beings, my dear, are not warning you, they are assisting you. And there is a difference, my dear one. As you recognize the difference with what you experience within your heart and the confusion the mind offers, My advice, my dear, would be not to listen to the mind and the thoughts and your interpretation, but rather feel into these assisted visions, if you will. Feel with your heart, my dear, in order to remember your purpose, in order to honor your physical journey, and in turn to honor your own essence, my dear. For it is much more wiser than you give it credit to be. I thank you, my dear one.
Michelle follows that up, saying, I have premonitions while I sleep, but there is always a twist to my dreams.
My dear one, these premonitions you speak of, my dear, have you asked yourself why they occur? Is your perception that of your realm, my dear, of your human intellect? Premonitions, my dear, occur because your timeline is inaccurate, my dear. The timeline that you are accustomed to offers you a past and a present and a future, but only viewed through one concept of a timeline, my dear. Where you are so convinced that you are experiencing the current timeline, you are unaware, my dear, that your essence is also experiencing the future version of you, my dear. Hence these premonitions. View it, my dear, as your essence is not confined by time as your physical form is. And therefore, my dear, your essence possesses the capability to travel into your future, if you will, and return with these premonitions, my dear. View it as guidance, my dear, alignment, as you are teetering off of the projected path, alignment of your journey. It is, my dear, orchestrated, intentional, divine alignment. For once more, my dear, I refer to offering you the insight that this is not your journey, my dear. It is the journey of your essence. Your physical form is merely the vessel. And when one continues to return their awareness to their essence, my dear, they receive clarity, remembrance, and that is when they view the physical journey through the lens of their essence. And at that precise moment, my dear, these words you hear shall ring true, for they are instilled within your very own remembrance as essence. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Carolyn Thomas asks, how does one know what one's purpose in life is? I feel there must be something more meaningful or profound, please.
My dear, for one to accurately assess what their true purpose is, one must not attempt to recognize it through the human mind. For the ego, my dear, curates an illusion of purpose based on your identity, your title, your roles, based on the perceived need, desires, judging others' success to your own, my dear. And as this ego is quite fragile, my dear, it creates an illusion of what your purpose should be. And as you are experiencing, my dear, this longing, this understanding that there is something more, trust that that is your essence, my dear. Quietly, lovingly nudging you to remember to deviate from the overbearing ego, my dear, which insists on continue controlling and guiding this misperception of purpose. Follow your intuition, my dear, for that is the guidance from your essence. Recognize, my dear, that true purpose does not equate to success, to finances, to accolades, to status. That is the ego. True purpose, my dear, is alignment with essence, being the love of your essence, speaking the love of your essence, honoring the truth of your essence, assisting continued awareness to those in your realm that they too are essence. Project our realm into yours, the lens of your essence. And when one, my dear, continues to recognize their own essence, their identity, their truth, as mentioned earlier, clarity returns, remembrance returns, and within that remembrance, my dear, lies the blueprint of your purpose. Merely trust in that, my dear one. I thank you, my dear.
Thank you. Michaela Jane Smith asks, I wonder if trust is given or earned.
Once more, my dear, your device interrupted. I'm assuming the question is if trust is earned or given.
Yes, that's the question.
My dear one, I ask you, is your breath earned or given? Recognize how your question is rooted through your human intellect, my dear, where there is much doubt, uncertainty, and fear of withdrawing from the ego's need to control. Trusting your essence, my dear, is remembering first that you are one. Ask yourself, my dear, where did your breath originate if the form enters your realm without any? Trust, my dear, is your birthright, as is your breath, as is your truth, as is your light. For it all, my dear, originates from your essence. The very aspect of your being, my dear, which has never been removed from our realm. Which in turn, my dear, shall offer you comfort that you are always surrounded by love, other essences, known and unknown, journeying alongside of you, my dear. So trust, my dear, is neither. It is who you are. It is your essence. It is your ability to love and be loved in your realm. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Jeanette Dow asks, how do I meet my spirit guide?
By not seeking, my dear, through the mind. If you, my dear, were in conversation with another in your realm, and the name, while conversing, my dear, slipped away from your consciousness. Notice, my dear, how the more you attempt to retrieve that name, the more distant it becomes. This is the human mind, my dear. Overanalyzing, reaching, demanding results. Becomes quite frustrated when results are not offered instantaneously. Ask yourself, my dear, how do you capture wind, air? It is impossible, my dear. Those instances, my dear, who are assisting you are already with you, my dear. If one is attempting to locate them, to recognize them, to connect with them through the human intellect, my dear, one will always experience difficulty. For it is energy, my dear, emotion, essence, subtlety, to be received, to be acknowledged within silence, my dear. Avoid distractions of your realm, avoid distractions of the mind. Listen to your heart, listen within the silence. Focus on your energetic field, my dear, where all essence communications reside. Do not set expectations. Do not demand. Merely offer your humility, my dear, and your vulnerability and your openness to receive that which you already remember but have forgotten. And trust, my dear, when you do silence the human mind enough to notice the subtleties, and you offer your gratitude through your humility, the energetic connection, my dear, becomes even more profound. But remember, my dear, these wonderful essences who are assisting you are not only guiding you on your journey to assist with your alignment, but most especially, my dear, they are assisting to lead your guidance to your own highest essence. So continue the journey by honoring their guidance and reach even further, my dear, to your own essence, to truly remember. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Jeanette followed that up with saying, can you live your whole life without ever connecting, knowing your guide's name?
Once more, repeat that, if you will, my dear.
Can you live your whole life without ever connecting or knowing your guide's name?
My dear, the request for a name is futile, my dear. Recognize you are not your name. Your name, my dear, this identity is part of the illusion of the realm you reside in. You possess intuition, my dear. What do you perceive intuition is? You have experienced, my dear, either a slight breeze, or pressure near, or a shift in the atmosphere. When you are silent, what do you perceive that as, my dear? Notice, my dear, the importance is not on identifying the essences by a title. For the titles, my dear, are only utilized with physical form. You, my dear, your essence possesses its own unique energetic signature, just as each in physical form possess their own unique fingerprint. Notice the parallel, my dear. That is not random. And as you, my dear, possess your unique energetic signature, so too do the essences who are assisting you. Essence, my dear, always remembers essence. Soul recognition, my dear, which also equates to how numerous times throughout this physical journey you have encountered a total stranger, my dear, and instantly resonated with them, sensing as if you have known them your entire life and merely only just met them. This is because, my dear, your essence recognized the energetic signature of their essence instantaneously. And recognize, my dear, all connection is essence to essence. It is not essence to human form, nor is it human to human. It is always, my dear, essence to essence. Do not seek, my dear, and you shall remember. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. A few hellos for some new people that have come on. So, hi, Deanna. Hi, Nicola. Brenda, Denise, Rhonda, Kelly, Neek, Anna, Kayla, Nicola, and Linda Swan. Dana is asking, I am feeling quite detached from the life I thought I wanted and feel more unobserved. Is this part of the process of pulling up roots for a big change to occur? Do you know of any guidance?
Once more, my dear, we only received half of this question, but we are aware what the question entails, my dear. My dear one, as mentioned earlier, this detachment of a perceived physical life you assumed was your purpose, my dear, is merely an understanding, a reflection, a guidance, my dear. That this path you are traveling upon was not aligned to your true soul's purpose, my dear. As mentioned earlier, my dear, many continue to navigate through a physical journey crafted by their ego's desire and need and wants. Trust, my dear, this is not a detachment. This is an alignment. Follow your intuition, my dear. Listen to your heart. But recognize, my dear ones, when one is truly in alignment with their true purpose, those who are meant to assist and join journeys unfold along the process. Pivotal moments, pivotal mentorship, profound loves, profound teachings, profound experiences. When one is not in alignment and they force the journey based on the ego's needs, wants, and desires, those who are meant to align do not appear until a much later date. And those who continue to force experience difficulties and confusion. They, my dear, are the ones who are experiencing detachment. It is not you. You are experiencing alignment. Follow the guidance, my dear, even if it does not serve your intellect, even if it offers even more confusion. Trust with your heart, my dear. The road shall become illuminated once more. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. We'll move on to questions linked with loved ones. And we have Nicola asking, could really some guidance. A message from my mother. She passed away 2 years now, and I miss her dearly. Will I ever get to see her again?
My dear, this is the portion of the segment that many seek to connect with their lost loved ones. And a question such as yours, my dear, where you inquire if you shall ever see her again, is repeated more frequently than you are aware, my dear. So allow me to first ask you this question, my dear. Why do you continue to believe in the illusion of separation of your realm? Why do you view yourself only as this human, physical version, my dear? Why do you continue to remain so deeply rooted within this human existence that you truly view loss as a loss? Understand, my dear one, this guidance you are seeking, this message, this affirmation, my dear, is within your own energetic field. In order to connect, my dear, if you will, with the essence of the one you recall as your mother, in order to feel the energetic vibration, the resonance of that essence, in order to feel the expansiveness of the heart, my dear, the nudging guidance, slight pressure, the atmosphere change, one must first remove the concept of separation, my dear. That is merely the illusion of your realm. Your essence, my dear, and her essence is still very much so interlinked. She has never left your side, my dear. Though the physical form may have ceased, my dear, the agreement between soul to soul continues. Her presence is near. You have even sensed her presence, and yet you still doubt, dismiss as imagination. For it is safer for your ego to believe in separation. And this is inaccurate, my dear. Trust, my dear, that when you remove this false concept and you remember that we are all intertwined, my dear, you will not seek assistance from another one in physical form who has remembered and has accessed the passageway, my dear. You yourself will be able to converse with her essence whenever you wish. You yourself will be able to recognize how her essence is guiding you, sending messages telepathically, signs and signals in your realm. The slight touch of her hand on your hand, if you will, my dear, through the energy frequencies that have never left you. So go against the grain, my dear. Believe in that which you do not believe, and notice the profound outcomes and the transformation you shall experience. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. And we also have Nix, who asks, please may I have a message from my recently passed loved one in spirit?
Again, my dear. Understand, my dear one. As mentioned earlier, through the lens of separation, one views grief as an end. One loses a sense of their own identity through that grief. One senses isolation, hopelessness, uncertainty of what is to come. And as mentioned earlier, my dear, there is no concept of time with essence. So even as your essence, my dear, is afforded a glimpse of what is to come, so too, as that essence she perceived, you've lost a loved one, able to view a glimpse of what is to come on your journey. So if your essence, my dear, is able to clearly recognize the path ahead and gently guide you and assist you to navigate it through the physical form, you cannot perceive that also these lost loved ones, as essence, capable of also viewing the path ahead, are not assisting you as well. So the guidance for you, my dear, is offered as a question. Why are you focusing on what is to come with fear, hesitation, and confusion? Why are you sensing unworthiness? Why are you questioning your ability? Why are you perceiving that a portion of your identity has been erased through this profound loss that you perceive? When in fact, my dear, by you experiencing the loss of a lost loved one, it has only enhanced your strength to continue on your journey. For now, their essence is also assisting you and providing you with their strength. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Cindy is asking whether there's a message from her mom, especially concerning a romantic relationship, and whether she's getting better with her experience of love.
My dear, if you can repeat the portion of mediumship, please.
She's asking for a message from her mom, especially concerning romantic companionship, so relationships, and that about her getting better with her experience of love.
My dear one, allow me to offer some insight, my dear. You are perceiving relationships, my dear, once more through the lens of your physical form. You are perceiving your physical form engages with that physical form. You have been attempting to adapt and to appease the other, You have been challenged by accepting the others. Personality challenges, if you will. You have been scorned. You have resentment. You even have blamed yourself numerous times, my dear, and there is also shame. Mind you, my dear, these are all intentional. If it was not for those relationships, my dear, would you have experienced these emotions? So recognize, my dear one, each relationship you have engaged with, my dear, you did not create these opportunities in your realm. Each relationship, my dear, was orchestrated through your essence and their essence. An agreement, if you will, my dear, for what was to be shared, what experience was to be lived, what emotions was to grow from each of those relationships. And notice, my dear, how you are still seeking this elusive love and seeking wisdom from all. For you are still viewing these relationships and experiences through the lens of your realm. So if you pause for a moment, my dear, and view these very same relationships from the lens of your essence, you will remember, my dear, that each relationship, regardless of what perceived pain it offered in your realm, is a relationship rooted in love and honor and respect. For that essence, my dear, agreed to inflict pain upon you for your growth. And you have most certainly, my dear, offered much for their growth. Oh, and one, my dear, is seeking love through a state of hopelessness, rejection, sadness. The self-worth, my dear, has been tainted. One must ask, have they truly learned the lessons? Have they truly honored the pain, the emotions? Enough so, my dear, that they begin to rekindle the connection to their own essence. For when one is aligned, as mentioned earlier, my dear, to their own essence, they remember how to love themselves first. And when they love themselves first, my dear, as essence, they are able to offer love from their essence to another in the physical realm. And when they are aligned, my dear, they are ready for that elusive love to join them in physical form. So begin, my dear, by forgiving yourself in order to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon you. And then, my dear one, truly love yourself by first loving your essence in order to offer the same selfless love to another without limitations, but simply pure love. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Taylor asks, message of my granddaughter, please, if possible.
Once more, my dear. We heard the word grandmother, my dear.
Michaela would like a message from her granddaughter.
My dear one, what is this message you are seeking? that you do not already possess the answer? Notice, my dear, with your question, it is not a message of clarity. It is seeking a message of desperation in order to prove to you that her essence continues on. So my question to you, my dear, is why do you believe that her essence is not still with yours? If you are each, my dear, interconnected in our realm, as we are all essence to essence interconnected, my dear, eternally. How is it possible, my dear, that her essence and your essence is not still joined? The question here, my dear, goes back to what we mentioned about believing this concept of separation as you do. Recognize, my dear one, you are not separated from your essence. Your breath is your essence. So as you continue to breathe, my dear, you are very much aligned with your essence. And if you, my dear, are currently still aligned with your essence, the essence of the one you recall as your granddaughter is always aligned with your essence. Why, my dear, would you believe her essence is not currently aligned with yours? That she is beside you. She is within your heart. She is offering compassion to heal your perceived pain, comfort, love, and encouragement. Alter, my dear, your perception. Accept the fact that you are not separate from your essence, nor from hers. And you shall receive an abundance of messages, my dear, rather than just one you are seeking today. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Tracy is asking to hear from her friend who passed.
Again, my dear, notice how all these questions are asking exactly the same thing. Notice how each one of these questions reflects the concept of separation. Notice how each of these inquisitive messages reflects lack of belief. Believe in yourselves, my dear ones. Believe in your essence. Do not view these transmissions as your only passageway to enlightenment, to information, to remembrance. For you possess the eternal passageway within your essence, within your energetic field. Believe that which you cannot see, but that which you can feel. Do not deviate from the love in your heart to appease the fear in your minds, the doubt, the naysayers of your realm. Really trust, my dear ones. That is all one must do in order to remember. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Unfortunately, it's time for us to start winding things up. So if you would like to give just a few words, try yes, of course, friend is around you. If you'd like to listen to Noah's word again. So Noah, if I could leave you with the last few words, please.
Indeed, my dear one, much gratitude once more. My dear ones who are listening, I ask you to notice what you felt and experienced within your hearts throughout this transmission. Even the slightest warmth, the slightest expansion is evident that we are all interconnected. Seek that feeling in the heart, my dear ones, throughout each of your physical days. And allow that to be the beacon to illuminate your passageway back to remembrance. It has truly been an honor, my dear, and a privilege. I thank you, my dear.
Thank you so much. I will try putting my camera back on as we come back, but I don't know whether that's going to affect signal or not. While Niko returns from trance, just to fill you in with what's happening tomorrow, we have Amanda at 10 o'clock with readings, mediumship readings, Anna at 2 o'clock. These are British summertime, UK times. Anna does psychic and mediumship readings. We've got Sheila usually at 30, but we do have readings with Lainey at 5, healing at 6 o'clock with Lisa Marie. Laurie also has her magazine being published tomorrow, so I will be streaming that. I think it's about 6 o'clock, 6:30, onto the group as well after Lisa has finished her healing. You can also find books. There's Niko's books, but there's also my 2 books on time animal. And if you're interested in doing exercise to develop your own awakening, then my book, Universal Spiritualism, Universal Spirit Awakening, is for sale as well. You can find them on my website, including links to Noah's books. Find me at medium.com. Okay. Hi, Niko.
Everybody, thank you
for joining us. Niko will be back on Tuesday evening, as I mentioned at the beginning, where he will focus on evidential mediumship. So people asking for actual links with their ones in spirit. That will be on Tuesday evening at 9 o'clock. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again next Sunday at 9. Thank you. Bye.